Hello and welcome to Harburn Double O, or indeed welcome back to Harburn Double O. This is part 2, the bungalow build. The window, the roof falls off it. I'm about to show you how to do the brick. I'll start off a simple brick, and then as the video goes on we'll do some more fancy stuff, as English bond and Flemish bond and so on. So over to the computer and to Lightburn. So this is where we finished off in Lightburn there, folks. So what I'm happy with this design here, and so I don't mess it up, because in Lightburn it's quite easy to move one item and you're halfway through your building, you went, oh, the window's the wrong size because you've selected it, you've moved the size up here by mistake. So let's go left click, right drag, select them all there, group them together, this little one up here, and then bring it off the screen. Just to keep things simple, I keep the X position at 10, and then I'll lock them in place. Lock select screens. So first of all, we do a simple brick pattern. So click my rectangle there, draw my brick out. I'll just zoom in a little touch, folks, so we can see it a bit better. I'm going to make it 3mm wide by 1.5 high. That's your simple brick. Now, I've not seen two bricks the same in a building site, so if you want to argue about scale, put in your comments down below there, folks. So that's the brick in there. I'm just going to put it to my X position 10, my Y position 10. So we keep things pretty straightforward. So go to array. In array, we're going to make sure we've got the X spacing here 0, and the Y spacing 0 as well. Down the bottom, we've got shift and half clicked here. So when we move up the bricks, it's going to move it across half for us. So in the X column there, do the sums there, and it's going to be 28 high, 38 in the X position, 28 in the Y position. And that is your basic brick. So select this here and control duplicate, bring that up to 1010. That overlays it onto your drawing there. And when you go to the preview, we'll do the brick first, the line, and then I'll draw in your cutouts. Now you don't bear in mind, you've got to put your cutouts and your engravings, correct settings over here, which is not done yet. So that's your basic. So try and select and do anything with it. Control B, for example, Boolean, union, insertion, subtraction. Subtraction there doesn't do much at all, so just cancel that. That's your basic brick pattern. So you're cutting across your header course, you're cutting across your windowsill, you're cutting across the door, and the windows that's getting cut out. So all you're doing is using laser time and burning money, as they say. So on this design as well, there the lines is for my laser, the kerf is 0.04, so it's a very, very fine line, and there's not much mortar on top of it. So let's look at a way we can add a bit of mortar joint that's going to be more scale-like. We remove all this we've done beforehand, folks. Just Control Z, back to our brick. This is the little brick here. So to add a mortar joint, there's 2 or 3 ways we can do it. So we select the brick, I come across here to this offset position here. We'll be offset it inwards, and we're going to put in an offset distance of 0.1 millimeters. Once the bricks are put together, that'll be a 0.2 millimeter mortar joint you've got on your model. Same again, if you're not happy with 0.2 millimeters for mortar joint for scale, leave a comment. Okay, so let's make the brick a little bit fancier as well. So if I select the inside part, come across here to radius. The moment it's set to 5, I'm going to put it at a radius of 0.1. Come across, on the corners, you'll see the little target, that comes in. Again, and it comes So if I go back to select tool, select the two of them and lock them together by grouping them. Put up here, group. That is them in place here, folks. So same again, I select it, go to array, and X columns is going to be 38. Y columns or Y rows is going to be 28. That is the brick mortar joint done. To a certain extent, it's not quite true, folks. If I add in my building now, my front, control duplicate and put that to position 1010. I look in here, you see some parts of the building is not quite true. Fair enough, on my building this would be covered by a cornerstone. But if you wanted to stop that happening, what we could do, rather than do the array, the brick, we can do a different way. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, just take it back to the bare brick. This time, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do with my brick, I'm going to do one column that way and one column up the way. So, okay, that. I'm going to put a wee rectangle in here now. Just in the corner of this building here, this one here, bring it across the full length of the brick, make sure it is free. Now, left click, up I come, select them all there, and Control B, Boolean. I'm going to do an insertion. Okay, so that's my top brick and the bottom two brick done in half. Basics there, folks. So I'm going to go to my array again. This time I'm going to have to make sure I've got the shift by half off. The X columns I'm going to make 38. And the Y row, half of 28 is going to be 14 because now we're 3 mil high and 1.5 mil high. So I'll make sure this is going to be in 10 X and 10 Y for the orientation. Come down here, pick my building, Control D for duplicate and bring it up to the same as the brick 10. And we'll zoom into the corners here, folks, and we can see that is doing it nicely all the way up through it. Once again, we're still wasting a bit of burn time by cutting through the windows, and we're cutting across the fill for the windowsill as well, and also the headers as well. So if I select them all, Control D for bleed, this time I go to insertion, it cuts out the parts I don't want cut. So that's that, folks. If I go back here again, Control duplicate that and put it in the position 1010, X and Y. Look up I come there and do my cut, my preview, and play. There's the other brickwork. Nice fancy pattern to it, mind you. Pulls it in. At the moment there, the brick is just a line. It's not put to fill yet. So if I click on top of the brickwork and make that a fill pattern, see it a little bit better, folks. So that's your brickwork. A little bit fancier. You can see a nice little fill, and this is the gap you've got between a 0.2 mil gap. Your mortar joints filled up with various things you want to do, i.e. grout or whatever you want. Well, that's the brickwork there. Now, at the moment, the brickwork is a plain texture, so let's go in here and add a bit of texture to the brickwork. So, let's select the brickwork, put it over here, the same again, I'm just going to lock that in place. In fact, we'll put it on the 1010 plane, no, just lock it in place. And we'll remove this part here. I'll put my brickwork back in again, my little fancy brickwork. I'll do it up here. It's at fill a moment, so we'll put it back to line. Let's see again, we'll do 3, 1.5. So again, we're going to offset it. 0.1, and I'll go back in here and we'll round the corners of this one as well. Radius, 0.1 millimeter. So once I'm happy with that, click the selection tool, Control Duplicate, Control D, and we'll bring that out of here. I'm going to take these two here, these ones here, and make them a group. And we're just going to move that off the screen now. And concentrate on this part here. We'll put this one here on 1010. Keep things simple there, folks. Will be moved to a later date because that's not going to be the true reference point. Now, I'm going to go to a website called SketchUp. This is a SketchUp Textures. It's a free download site. You've got to join, mind you, become a member. It's free of charge. You get so many downloads per day. I think it's 15 downloads per day before you start paying. So in here, for my texture of the brick, I'm going to go to concrete, believe it or not. I'm going to go bare concrete, clean walls. And there, you've got your different textures of concrete walls. Seamless ones as well, it's quite important. So I've downloaded the concrete grey. So in here, in my tools there, I've got the grey one, this one here, grey wall. Open that and it is massive. It is humongous. So I'm going to bring the size down to a more manageable size. I'm going to make it 10. And this also scales it down as well. Can't see it at the minute, so we'll bring that down to a position of 10. I'll have 10. That'll cover up that brick. Like so. I can move it across here, the brick itself, to see what it is. Now, if I right click on top of it, nothing happens. I select the brick and the texture, right click, I can apply the mask to it. There's the texture we're going to get in the brick. Now, if I click on the mask, I can move it across to wherever I want. So, keep on moving till I lock it in place. To lock it in place there, up I come, select them all, right click and flatten image mask. That's our brick locked in place. So now I'm going to put the brickwork on to 10, up 10, and we're going to do an array of the brickwork. Now with the array for the Y spacing in the joint, 0.1, X and 0.1 for the Y. I've now got the X spacing set at 0.1, the Y spacing set to 0.1 as well, and I'm going to shift it by half. X columns is going to be 38. That'll do it no problem on my PC. And when I go to the Y row, I'm going to put that to 28, and it'll take a little while for it to do it. It's now using a lot of CPU. It takes a lot while to do the image as such. So that is that, folks. Okay. So now I'm going to convert this to a bitmap. So right click, convert to bitmap. Okay that. So now I'm going to test the side. I'm going to bring up the front building once again. So I'm going to Control D, duplicate, and bring it up to 1010 for the X and Y position. Now what I need to do before I can apply this is a mask to the building there. I've got to convert this all to the same layer. Put it back to the line layer. One. This one here, rather than going to 1010, I'm going to put it to 7.1 tab Y position 10.1 tab. That gives the room for your brickwork going in place there, folks. So now up I come, select the two of them, right click, apply image to mask, right click again and flatten image to mask. That's me got my brickwork image. All I need to do now, put them all in place. So if I put the front up first, the cut lines, Control D, 1010. Select the brickwork, put it up to place, Control D, 1010, the X and Y position. And then we'll collect the texture mask and we'll put that to the Control duplicate as well, and we'll put to 1010. I'll have to put in the small figures now because we've done the sums before, 0.7 to 0.1. So we'll zoom in there and you can see the mask. It's in perfect joints. So if I go to a preview now, play, done the cut first there folks, but we'll change that back just shortly, don't worry about it. We'll do the brickwork and then I'll do the mask, the texture to the brickwork. That's us folks. Okay. Oh. Let's look at some other bonds now. Let's go for the first one. Let's go for the most common one for the English bond. So for the English bond, I've got my brickwork here first, folks. So the Control, duplicate that, just move up a little touch. Now on the size of this one here, I'm going to change it. I'm going to make it a half brick, so it's 1.5 by 1.5. Now I need to break up the group, so I ungroup it. Select the middle one again, and just to sort out the middle grout there, I've got to come up to this width here, and rather 1.4, I'm going to put in 1.25 just to make the mortar correct way. Now you see that moved in here, no, it isn't correct. Made a little mistake there, folks. So we Control Z that. Up here, I'm going to change the orientation to the centre this time. So I change it to 1.25. It is the correct send for the mortar. So once again, group them together. Just remember, change your orientation back to this point here. So I grab this by the part here, just goes to the line there, folks. I bring it down, meets that part there, that's us. So that's selected there. I'm going to select the brick as well. I'm going to make sure they're in centre. This one up here, line, select the objects in centre. That's the basics just started there, folks. Now let's make a duplication. This one here, Control D, Shift and Control, move it along to the right hand side. Same again, select this one here, Control D, and Shift and Control and bring it along the side. Now that's what's here. I'm going to make sure that they're all grouped together. Group together. Up I come, my rectangle here. Make sure that it's 3 mil by 3 mil and select them all. Control B for boolean and intersection. That's my English bond, more or less done there, folks. So now I've got to that ray. For example, 20 by 20. That's it. Bear in mind when you go to your array, make sure the shift by half is off for the English bond. But make it a fill joint. See the English bond in there, folks. That's the English bond. Let's go to a little more difficult one, the Flemish bond. So, with this one here, duplicate, and move it up a little touch. I'm going to change the size now for the width to be 2 millimeters wide. Bring that in. select the corner yet. Line with this. So select the two of them, group them together, and to come to an array. Same again, we'll just by half. Go to fill. That is the Flemish bond sitting in there, folks. So that's it, the basics of bricklaying, folks. I hope I've kept it simple, not too complex there. I hope you managed to follow me. So the next episode, number 3, we'll be looking at the roof. To be honest with you, I did design the roof in Fusion 360. You can design it in Lightburn, just a bit more maths, folks. So calculator got a lot more rest. I've done the calculations in Fusion 360. So hopefully see you in the next one. Cheers.